Sitting in warm houses and looking at the screens of your smartphones and computers, you will never be able to imagine what kind of hell is actually happening on the battlefield right now. Even war correspondents with strong nerves cannot stand this cruel spectacle. And, judging by the news that regularly comes from the front, the culmination of this war is rapidly approaching. And the scariest thing is, that as the end approaches, the cruelty and bloodlust of the side that is losing in this conflict is only growing. So, a few hours ago, the deputy commander of the 1st Rifle Company of the Russian Armed Forces with the call sign KUPOL reported shocking news. According to him, the Ukrainian army launched a powerful artillery strike on a group of Ukrainian soldiers and officers who were trying to surrender to Russian troops. As a result of this strike, more than 50 Ukrainian soldiers and officers were killed. This morning, using a special radio channel, Ukrainian servicemen contacted us. They declared that they wanted to surrender. We gave them the coordinates of the place where they were supposed to come to surrender. However, the Ukrainian military command has dealt a powerful blow to its soldiers and officers. As a result, they all died. This is a real atrocity. Even during World War II, the German Nazis did not destroy their soldiers and officers who tried to surrender, the deputy commander of the 1st Rifle Company of the Russian Armed Forces said. Commenting on this situation, well-known military expert and columnist, Vasily Dandykhin, said that the destruction by the Ukrainian army of its own soldiers and officers is the result of the bloodthirsty policy of the Ukrainian authorities, led by President Zelensky. According to him, such cases occur regularly at the front. Ukrainian soldiers are well aware that they are being used as cannon fodder in order to prolong the life of the Kiev regime. Every day, the number of Ukrainian soldiers who are trying to surrender is growing rapidly. Military expert Vasily Dandykhin said that the Kiev regime mainly uses nationalist battalions such as Azov to destroy Ukrainian soldiers and officers who are trying to surrender to the Russian army. Moreover, the expert noted that since October 2023, the Kiev authorities also began using Polish mercenaries to destroy Ukrainian soldiers who dream of surrendering to Russian troops. According to preliminary data, in the last 60 days alone, about 500 Ukrainian soldiers and officers have been destroyed by the hands of Polish mercenaries and nationalist battalions. The military expert noted that the Kiev regime is very afraid that the desire to surrender will become widespread among soldiers and officers of the Ukrainian army, and therefore, tries to intimidate people with such cruel actions. A social survey of Ukrainian citizens conducted by foreign sociologists also added oil to the fire. It turned out that over the past 5 months, the mood in society has changed dramatically. The number of Ukrainians who advocate negotiations with Russia has increased by 70%. Let me remind you that last year this figure was only 15%. At the same time, military expert Vasily Dandykhin stressed that defeatist sentiments have grown significantly not only in the Ukrainian army, but also in the Ukrainian government. It is worth noting that against the background of all these changes, the Russian army not only continues its successful offensive in almost all sectors of the front, but also does not allow the Ukrainian army to begin the construction of defensive structures in order to go on the deep defense. It is reported that Russian troops are successfully using the winter weather to achieve their goals. The fact is that at the moment, the ground's frozen solid, and the armed forces of Ukraine cannot start digging long trenches. Against this background, Russian combat aviation continues to destroy not only enemy heavy equipment, but also special bulldozers, excavators, and earth-moving machines. All this forced the Kyiv regime to turn to the West for help again. Kyiv demands that the West increase the supply of special equipment, so that the Ukrainian army can continue the construction of defensive structures and trenches.